a book or even watching a video, for example. It's an immersive way to learn, and you also get a better connection with our other African brothers. You know, a lot of the times when you're in Ghana, you see things in a certain way, but once you step out, it broadens your horizon in a way that you never could have afforded. So it's a very tricky thing. That
could you have been on this trip? Would you have loved to be on a road trip with a camera? By the way, if you had a camera, I'm sure it would have been a different dynamic, because if they know you're a journalist, it changes.
Sometimes things change.
It changes the dynamic.
Things change altogether, especially with the authorities. But when you get to the people,
they love
it's
you.
a different feeling altogether.
It's a different feeling.
Those who actually partitioned Africa the way they did, they've done us a lot of harm, because they've managed to box us all in some small puzzles, and we are all thinking within the limits of our boundaries.
Yes, and they've but we have also not helped ourselves, because I think since the 60s, a lot of us have said we are independent. Even in our own countries, we are suspicious of each other, and we want to look down on the other person. So I am saying that disunity is our biggest problem. And our politics doesn't help, because it pushes one group in and one group out.
Exactly.
And everything is divided. You know, yesterday my interview with Ehinu Eku, we were saying, look, countries that have done well, they've had 3 languages. What they do is that your mother tongue, you speak it at home. Then there's the official language that you learn in school. But in between the two,
there is one that cuts across.
So he's saying that we should create a language that brings Ewe, Twi, Ga, and Dagbani and the others together. And he said he actually put together a group of linguistics professors who have created a 500-page proposed new language.
Wow.
Because apparently a lot of the words are
overlap.
Yes, and if you look at our languages, they are from the same root. Okay, and language is very powerful for development. I think that you are right. The colonialists are the deceptions, but we haven't helped ourselves either.
And also then, if you don't also travel, you take some of the things we have here for granted. You know, in some other African countries, yes, about this language thing, most of them speak one language. So, for example, the Swahili that is spoken in Kenya,
Tanzania.
Go to Tanzania.
I said Swahili. It was deliberate decision by the Mwalimu.
Absolutely.
Because don't forget, it's called Kiswahili. Swahili is like a mixture between. It was a trade language between those who were trading between Southern Africa and those who were on the eastern corridor to the north. So it's a mixture of Arabic and I think the Bantu language or one of the languages down there. Maybe the Zulu language or something.
It's beautiful.
But it's a mixed language. So it's not native to one particular person.
So everyone connects. And
so the East Africans have a bigger opportunity there. So that's why, in a sense, COMESA works better than ECOWAS. All right. He says we should create a language. Maybe it should be Pidgin. I don't know what it is, because if you listen to Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and Liberia, there's certain commonality in the way we speak our English. I feel like we could use that, because when people talk, they will trade. When people trade, then they can relate in a better way. You know, or no? It's a tragedy that in Africa our francophones are so different in a way. If for example, there's no lingua franca between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, or Burkina Faso for that matter. All right, so it's something we need to think deeply about, and we need to sacrifice certain things if we really want to develop, you know.
What I was looking for is pigeonholed. We've been pigeonholed within our own limited boundaries, and we just think through that way. But if you just move across, the friendships you can make, the community you can build, it's amazing. Opportunities that you can leverage or maximize. So, and the other thing we have here though is that with all our diversity, we are united in a very beautiful way that you don't get elsewhere. So I sometimes cringe when I go online and I see some of the things people write and some of the tensions that we try to create. You don't even
I want to tempt you a bit. You know, when the president was answering the question from one of the journalists about what social media is becoming, you did say to me that it's actually a very serious problem, and that there are armies of people who have been mobilized around specific ethnic groups or languages who sort of promote a certain agenda which is not unifying, for want of a better word. How serious is that? And what can we do? Because I think what sits on Africa's potential is disunity. Even in Ghana, if we harness all our minds around an idea, we do very well. But the way we have been structured, there's division that cuts through the middle. And this social media thing seems to be making things worse. You know, how bad is it, and what do you think we should do to deal with that matter?
Bernard, it's a very difficult, question and difficult conversation to have, because it has many legs, many arms, and it has the potential to even provoke misconceptions as to what exactly you intend to say, how you have said it, because of who you are and why you are saying it. So it's a very difficult conversation. Now, people have whipped up a certain sense of nationalism, not in the Ghanaian sense, but in their ethnic, within the ethnic sense. So they say, okay, I am from the Volta region, I'm from the Dagbani, the Gonja community, so I am this, I'm from the Akan community, so I am this, and all of that. And these are being pushed online in a way which should actually be a celebration of their culture without seeking to put another culture down. You understand? So if you believe that Ewe culture, Asante culture, Ga culture is what you want to celebrate, you can celebrate that without it becoming a tool for undermining unity and, for that matter, others. But it would seem that in the effort to do that, some move well beyond. In fact, it seems to have now become the agenda to actually attack other cultures.
Every single day.
And,
Every single day.
For instance, let's talk about some of the food we eat. The attempt to celebrate one cuisine
Over another.
Someone says, okay, this was not originally yours.
It's for me.
Now you are stealing it. Why are you people like that? Or this particular fabric, which we recognize as a national fabric,
it's for me. It's
did not originate from here. It originated from here. So you guys are trying to distort the history around
it. Becomes a fight.
Then it becomes a fight.
Wow.
Or, okay, we are all listening to the president speak to the nation in English.
Yes.
Someone decides to ask a question in a particular language.
The other people
are angry that but why we are all listening to, so why not confine the president to speak that? You understand? So all these things that are tied to our culture, the way we live, the way we perceive things, they become trigger points for provoking violence, or in some cases, rhetoric that does not help the national, cause, merely because someone believes that, okay, mine should be the one that should lead. So you are talking about, let's get a national language for Ghana. Let's shun the English.
The guy actually suggested yesterday that he has commissioned some linguistics people to create a language that merges. It was such an interesting thing. He actually gave examples of sentences where you will hear and you will understand it. So even though it's not ever, and you are ever person, when they speak the language, I was quite fascinated. You understand what he said, because there's ever inside, there's Ga inside, there's tree inside. He thinks that countries that have done well have found a way to come together around something that is common, and that the biggest danger is people. This thing you just described, this idea of everybody wanting to be nationalist for his ethnic group. It's a very dangerous thing. And I believe that beyond the electronic and the political will to solve it, I also think socially we, in possible places of influence, should talk to people to say, look, no, we need a Ghanaian identity. We need an African identity. Because at the end of the day, we're Africans. All right? As Rasmubra said, he went to Congo. He's an African. He went to Gabon is African. It's more important being African than being
Ghanaian.
You see, and the way the countries are making it difficult for you to enter. It's the same way we also do it here, and we don't have that much time. So we can only appeal to people on social media that look.
They speak Kinyarwanda in Rwanda. It's a national language.
They created it.
After that very deadly genocide that they had, And you have a situation where you see your colleague, you can tell he's from this side of the country based on their features, but you cannot say that they are this.
Because of the language. So now they are all just Rwandese.
Not because of the language, but because of their past. It's not a thing you say that.
So they've banned.
You don't say I'm Tutsi or you are Hutu. You don't say that.
It's banned.
Even though when you see the person's nose, you see their height, you can tell that this is the difference.
You see, the challenge with that is that it becomes suppressed for too long.
Yes.
And over time, it can blow up.
Well, if the people mix properly, intermarry, and the language grows, over time, those differences get reduced. Which is one of the reasons why Nkrumah wanted us to do boarding school, to meet each other. We are from different parts of the world. We meet in Achimota school or wherever. And we by that interaction, develop a Ghanaian personality. Because the danger of always going back to your group, if not well checked, can lead to national fault lines that will be difficult to solve. So for me, when a leader tries, I know it's artificial, the Rwanda case, but when a leader tries to bring his people together, he should be commended. Do you understand? Because, Kai, those who are working to divide us are enough outside. We don't need more people inside to also divide us. There are enough people working against our interests outside. So if a leader says, you know what, let's de-emphasize ethnic group. We are not saying we deny it. We are not denying it. We are Ewes, we are Gan, we are Fante, we are Frafra, we are Nanumba. But let's not overemphasize it. Let's find our lines of commonality. The work of the linguists, I think is a great thing, where they are saying a lot of the words in the languages are from the same root. So let's create a language. Let's learn it. Yes, me pese meka asem nyonyo or something. Wonyonyo. So me pese no is and the me pese apparently the guy and tree are almost the same. Nyonyo is good, something nice. Anyway, I think it's a noble proposal. It's a very noble proposal. Maybe the linguists should come on air and try and help us appreciate how the nuance of that language will be and if it will all be accepted to all of us. Because for me,
a language was designed in 1970 by a Ghanaian that was supposed to be an African language. It's called Afrihili. It was designed by a Ghanaian historian called K.A. Kumi Atobra. My friend
Afrihili.
Yes, Abdul Karim Ibrahim. He studied at the Institute of African Studies.
Which would be the Swahili sort of bastardized in a way.
Yes, Afrihili. Sky, for me, look, you can be aware of something but not be able to solve it. But at least it's good to be aware of it. I am saying that a big danger to us is disunity, which can be furthered by these ethnic fault lines that we are seeing social media do. Let's be careful. And let's find common grounds where we can work together to build our country, because Ghana is the only country we have. We don't want to be refugees in other people's countries.
Yeah, I agree fully with you. I was talking to a good friend of mine the other day. He's a big lawyer. So we're having a conversation around something like that. Then he said,